So I hadn't played a lot of tank in the new stadium game mode on Overwatch 2, but I got a comment in my Mercy Stadium build video from Ryan L. Woodard 4513, and he said, "Bro, you have the best build videos, crazy underrated. Can you do a Zarya Rein next?" Now, I don't play a lot of Zarya, but I'm an avid Rein enthusiast, and so I started using Rein in Stadium, and I came up with a build that I really enjoy. So shout out to Ryan, this video is for you. So I've seen the meta Rein builds, and they mostly revolve around his shield. You know, like the unbreaking shield that damage boosts your teammates, or the unbreaking shield that heals your teammates. So those builds are really team dependent, and that doesn't always work, especially for like solo queue players who might not always have great teammates. And me personally, I just don't like playing passive. So the build I made is the Sniper Reinhardt build. Now, the one thing I like about this build is it could be really good very early on, and it revolves around the two powers that buff your fire strike. So round one, you want to get impact burst. This power basically makes your fire strike do an extra 20% damage for free to the first person it hits and anybody super close to him within that 3-meter radius. And then in round 3, I pair that with magma strike. With this power, whenever you throw out 2 fire strikes within 2 seconds of each other, you'll leave a trail of magma that does damage over time. So basically, it's even more damage for your fire strikes. After that, for round 5 and 7, you could choose whatever power you need for each match. I usually go for shield stampede just so I could use charge with my shield up protecting me, and then sometimes blazing blitz just because I think it's kind of funny to throw out a bunch of fire strikes. Now, when it comes to items, fire strike scales off of ability power. So what I do is I just fully focus on maxing out ability power. But there are 2 items that you really want to get as soon as possible. First is the epic item Rocket Strike. This not only gives you 20% more ability power, it also makes your fire strikes 50% faster. You'll also want to get Chimera's Maw, which gives you another 10% ability power and also makes your fire strikes 50% larger. With those 2 items, you'll be throwing out massive fire strikes that move fairly quickly. After getting those 2 items, you want to just focus on maxing out ability power and try to get ability power as high as you can. I know here I have like 110%, but for some reason, at least in the practice range, your ability power continues to scale even past 100%, and at 110% you can finally one-shot 300 HP characters. I haven't tested it in game yet, but at least in theory, going above 100% could be beneficial. And you could get this with just 38k, which isn't hard for an aggressive Reinhardt. But even with the first 3 items that you should focus on getting, at just 70% ability power, you can one-shot 250 HP characters. And even if they invested in extra health, you'll be making them extremely low HP. Like guys, I'm telling you, this build is so strong. And the best part about it is fire strikes can't be blocked. So each fire strike you throw out is basically a guaranteed kill or will make even tanks extremely low HP. But yeah, I call this build Sniper Reinhardt. Y'all should try it out and let me know what y'all think.